to start out, to me, and disagree if you do, this is clearly to me a fire sale. I mean, this is about as close as you can get to the traditional definition of a fire sale without like literally dealing everyone. They held on to Joe Ryan. They held on to some injured guys like Pablo Lopez. They held on to Byron Buxton, who has a no trade clause. But short of that, they traded basically the entire bullpen.
Yeah.
They traded Carlos effing Correa. And they traded 5 different guys who have at least 2 years of team control remaining beyond this one, including Louie Varland. Poor Louie Varland from North St. Paul, who probably this is his dream. He wasn't going to be a free agent until 2031, and he's minimum salaried for like 2 more years. And that didn't stop them from trading him. So I do view this, because I've been asked about this, like I do view this as a fire sale. Now, is it the craziest fire sale I've ever? No. I mean, I've seen 20 years ago the Marlins pulled, but this is as close as you're going to get without just completely burning the thing down to the ashes for this Twins team.
I guess I don't view it as a fire sale. I'll say it's got aspects of a fire sale to it, and I don't blame anybody who takes a look at it and says,
would you say it's fire sale adjacent?
Fire sale adjacent. How about that? Yeah. Listen, when you get rid of 40% of the roster, you get rid of 10 of the 25 guys that are 10 of the 26 guys that are there. It's easy to look at it and say, well, it must be a fire sale. I will say this: they were a little strategic in their fire saliness, right? Listen, we knew that half of those guys were going to be gone anyway. They're impending free agents, so that doesn't really matter. Now, to your point that they lost a lot of multi-year guys, the Correa piece feels fire sale-ish, but it also feels like,
that's just a salary dump. And I mean, I would consider that if you go back and look at the biggest fire sales in baseball history, it is driven by dumping salary. It's not so much driven by the desire to build for long term. That's just sort of an offshoot of that. That's kind of a silver lining of that.
Right. And then the rest are all bullpen. And, we have been advocates for, I think it's been a pretty steady narrative coming out of this podcast for the last 3 weeks that the time to trade bullpen guys is at the deadline. That's when you're going to get the most for them. Now, I think as we go through these, I'm going to have some arguments with what they got for some of their bullpen guys. That's where it starts to break down for me a little bit.
One, I didn't mean to trade the whole bullpen, like literally.
Well, I know.
Send them the bench and the phone and the all the materials you got out there, the starting. And to your point, I'm just not impressed with the return on the majority of these trades.